I work with a lot of investor clients in the real estate industry who are buying long-term rental properties, and they're not looking to do an Airbnb or a midterm rental, but they're looking to have a long-term tenant occupy the property. And so I'm in conversations every single week about, does it make sense to have a long-term rental right now where interest rates are at today? You know, we're still in the 7%, and it's been like that for 3 years at 7% interest rate. And so I have this conversation quite often, and you know, as you first look at it, the numbers actually don't make sense. Generally, you are negative cash flow, about $1,000 or $2,000 a month that you're in negative cash flow. So the rents that you can get, and then what your total monthly payment for that property to keep that, including taxes, insurance, if there's an HOA and whatnot. And so those numbers don't make sense, but it still costs, you know, if you were to buy a single family home in Orange County to rent out, you're going to be putting out, you know, generally well over 6 figures, if not multiple 6 figures, to acquire that, and then to be negative about $1,000 or $2,000 a month. You know, not too many people would do that. Now I do, you know, I'm going to share a deal and go through the numbers real quick of how some of my clients, my investor clients, are making sense of this. For most, this doesn't make sense, and you should just, you know, really ignore this unless you fit this criteria in this bucket. I think I'm going to make the case that I think that if you are a high income earner and you can afford a risk, you know, if you're a first time real estate investor and you're just getting started and you're rubbing 2 cents together, this is not for you. But if you are a high income earner, you pay a lot in taxes every year, then I think this could be an option to consider. And so I'm going to run through a deal right now and show you kind of play this out over the next 18 months after you were to buy this property, and then in phases how you can potentially make the numbers work. And so I have several clients that do it this way, but it takes some time, a lot of capital, a lot of cash to get it, and then also patience dealing with cities and permits and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you this property in Anaheim, so you'll see it on the screen there. This property, it's gonna acquire. I know you'll see the list price under $800,000, but it's going to take about $825,000 to get this to work. So this is a single family home in Anaheim. It has a big lot, just over 7,400 square feet. And the other cool thing is it has a back alley in the back, which I like. So if you were, let's see, for most people, let's look at it how most people would see this. So they would see that, okay, it's going to cost us $825,000 to purchase. The down payment of 20% is $165,000 plus closing costs, lender fees and whatnot. I would budget another $15,000. So that brings our total cash to close $180,000. So $180,000. We're going to do like as of today, if we were to lock in a bank statement program loan, 30-year fixed at 7.125 with taxes and insurance, the total payment is $5,384 a month. Now, there are some other expenses when you go to rent a property. You should anticipate some loss in rents, so vacancies. There's going to obviously be repairs and whatnot. But just looking at the hard cost, your monthly fixed cost is just under $5,400 a month. But if you were, this is where it doesn't make sense when you first look at it, because if you were to rent this property, just the main house, the home, after you fix it up, you're going to get around $4,500 a month. So you're negative, that's about just under $900 a month. You're in the negative, but I would budget, it's going to be more than that when you factor in repairs, if you do property management, vacancies and stuff like that. So you're $1,100, $1,200 a month right there in the negative. when you first buy it, and you still had to put, when you first buy it, and you had to put 180,000 down. So if you think of it that way, those numbers don't work. 180,000 in cash to buy it, to lose $1,200 a month. That's not that fun. Okay, so that's the first picture. Now, how my clients are making this work is that they build an ADU, which is a second unit in the back of the property, and they convert the garage to its own unit. So that's 3 units. So in Orange County, especially in this area in Anaheim, it takes time to do this, but you can have 3 units on that property, and you can, again, build a second additional dwelling unit in the back and then convert the garage. And so if you were to do that, so let's say you buy it, you put 180,000 in just to buy it, then you build an ADU, and then you convert the garage. So you would be able to get, again, you're going to get $4,500 for the main house. The ADU, if you do a 2-bed, 1-bath in this area, the monthly rent that you would get just for that would be $2,700. There are some cases where you go a little bit above that, but $2,700 a month for a 2-bed, 1-bath ADU is very reasonable in that location. And then the junior ADU, which would just basically be a studio. That's just a studio with a bathroom. You still have a living area, but not its own enclosed bedroom. The monthly rent for that in this area is $2,150 per month. So that total income, once everything's fully built out, is $9,350 a month on that, starting that second year, because it would probably take you about a year to get everything remodeled, permitted, and built. So by month 13 or 14, you would be able to rent out the whole property, and then your monthly income at that point would be $9,350, but your payment is still $5,384. Your fixed payment. It's going to be, let's just budget $6,000. So it's $6,000 a month after vacancies and repairs, but your income is $9,350. There is a couple other things to consider. So when you buy the property, like I said, it's good, and this is where it takes a lot of cash. So it's $180,000 to buy it. This particular property, the main house, needs a lot of work. It's a 3-bed, 2-bath. You're going to spend about $80,000 to renovate it to get to $4,500 a month in rent. And then it's going to cost you $200,000. That's a good estimate to build a 2-bed, 1-bath, a permitted ADU in the back. Again, it's going to take about a year to do that with permits, and the building takes 6-7 weeks, but it's the permitting and waiting on the lovely city to take their time. And then renovating the junior ADU, basically converting the garage into its own separate unit, and to do it with permits, that's going to cost right at $75,000. So the total cash is $535,000, and then you're going to collect $9,350, but your fixed costs are $6,000. So those numbers my clients seem to like. It does take those are a lot of resources, but you can phase this out, because that second $275,000 to build the ADU and to convert the garage, that's really, you're not really paying the majority of those fees until about 10 months in, 9-10 months in, when you start building. So you're really spending $240,000 on the front end, and then the rest towards the end of that first year. And then you're able to be cash flowing, which is great. And then you're also building value to the property. You're adding permitted square footage, which also increases the property value. And then every single year you have 3 units on one single family resident property that you can raise rents on. That's fully renovated, that's new. You likely don't have to deal with any major repairs for the foreseeable futures, but just little repairs. And you're able to make the numbers work there. So if you are a high income earner, you pay a lot in taxes per year, and you're looking for a safe place to park money for the long term, but also to make some money, I think this strategy is a good way to consider. If you have any questions on this, feel free to leave me a comment below.